Hi, welcome to Grim Survival. Let's talk about understanding today. And basically, my understanding. Maybe everyone's understanding, if at all possible. But I just don't believe that most people understand survival. Just the pure aspect of what it entails to survive. As I've said in a previous video, your first step to any survival situation is a choice. You have to make a choice to survive. You have to decide, I'm going to live through this, or I'm going to give up. There's a lot of people that just say, I'm going to give up. And they do. They just give up. And this is shown throughout many aspects of a lifestyle or a certain person's life, that they repeatedly give up through no matter what the situation may have been. Maybe a video game that they couldn't beat, so they gave up. Maybe, I don't know, trying to impress a girl. They couldn't seem to communicate with her because maybe she just wasn't interested, or maybe he just wasn't going about it the right way. So what's he do? He gives up. Giving up is definitely an aspect of survival, because a lot of people have the urge, but do they have the willpower to overcome? And this is where the understanding comes in, is the willpower. I mean, if you've never been put in any kind of a situation where things have been or could possibly be taken away from you, where you could just be taken right out of your comfort zone, as some people say, comfort zone, interesting term. But people just don't understand, I don't believe. I have a vague understanding of certain aspects of survival. I know what it's like to not realize. I know what it's like to not know where your next meal's coming from. To not know where you're going to sleep any particular time. Like tonight. Tomorrow night. I know what it's like to be hungry. Really hungry. To where your only thoughts are of food. And you will do anything to get it. Hungry. Most people don't know what hungry is. But the understanding, as I've come to understand, survival is, it just starts with desperation. I mean, whether it be an SHTF scenario, a disaster, lack of food, lack of electricity, lost in the woods, on an airplane that's going down. I mean, you ever think about such things? What would you do? I've wanted to give up many times. Still do from time to time. What's the point? Just don't do it no more. What's the point, really? Moving on, going further, pushing, fighting. Survival is an endless fight. No matter what the situation, you're fighting. You're fighting to survive. You're fighting yourself to not give up. That's where I think my struggle comes in, is fighting myself not to give up. Because sometimes I just don't see a point to it. Why bother? Just why? Why go through the struggle? Why fight? Why keep going? And these are questions I've asked myself. Still do from time to time. But why? Why do I bother? Why do I keep fighting? I could give you the cliche reasons: kids, family, job, wife, house, blah, 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 blah. But that's not why anybody fights. If your reasons for survival are to get back to somebody you love, then I can see that as a good reason to have, but is it? If you're living for someone else, is it really living? So if you're surviving to get back to someone, is that really a good reason? Most people will find in a survival situation that it's not people or things they're thinking of, if they're thinking at all, which most people probably don't. especially in a survival situation. It's all instinct. It's just, you do what you do because you have to do it or you die. There is no, I did it because. There was, I did it to not die. There's been many examples of this. People, airplane wrecks that cannibalize the dead passengers. Comes off the top of my head right there. What would you do in that situation? Not eat the people? Tell you right now, I've been hungry. I'd eat the people. But I don't know. This is going into a philosophy type, me just rambling on about nothing from the sound of it, which has been known to happen. I tend to do that. I ramble. I talk about nothing. I annoy people with it from time to time. I think my wife told me that I've been talking about the farmland and how much food is not growing for 2-3 weeks now, and it's all I ever talk about. I guess I got obsessive over it, she says. So, okay. Well, I could go be obsessed over something else, like, I don't know, some stupid movie or a sports game or whatever. But I'm not. I am having one of those just give up and put it down and say no more to this fight kind of moments. Not sure if I'll even post this video, but just talking to my phone kind of helps, I guess. It's probably how most YouTubers get started. They just talk to their phone because who else is wanting to listen at that moment? So, hey, at least your phone always listens, right? I can see it listening. It's blinking at me and counting down a timer. So, yeah. But yeah, the choice to move on, to keep going, to not give up. It's not an easy choice. Most people just don't know what it's like to lose everything, to have everything taken from them, to not know where they're going to sleep or what they're going to eat. People are comfortable. They're just too comfortable. Even a prisoner in prison is comfortable. That is the whole point, to be comfortable. That's what they do to you. Give you a routine, so you're doing the same thing over and over every day. You get used to it. You get comfortable doing it. Army does the same thing. You do the same thing in your job and in your life. You do the same routine every day. You go to the same job. You may do something different at your job, but it's still the same job every day. You're comfortable. So when you get put into a survival situation where nothing is comfortable, where you have to sleep wherever you happen to be, whether it be outside, near a car, in a car, under a car, whether you be in the woods in a tent. I guess that's a little more comfortable than under the car, right? Most people will not think to sleep under a car in a survival situation. But what is it, 3 hours without shelter? Inside of a car is probably not the best idea. I mean, depending on the situation. If it's civil unrest, I guess you could say it, violence is occurring, then not in the car. You're just an easy target. Under the car, definitely. Still provides shelter from the rain, snow. Blocks some wind, not a lot, but some, depending on where that car's parked, I suppose. But yeah, easily insulated. Alright, I guess I'll stop rambling. This is just a video of me talking about nothing. So if you listen to it and you got to this point, you must be really bored. Sorry about that. But remember, survival's grim. I'm going to stop yapping now.